Daniel had dreamed of this moment for years. Ever since he was a boy growing up in the small coastal town of Cebu, he wanted to work abroad and provide his family with a better life. His father had passed away when he was only 12, and since then, Daniel had taken on the responsibility of helping his mother and younger sister survive. He worked odd jobs, construction, fishing, anything to put food on the table. But no matter how hard he worked, life in the Philippines was tough. Opportunities were scarce, and money was never enough. So when he finally saved enough for a plane ticket to the United States and secured a work visa, he felt like his life was finally changing. His mother cried when she hugged him goodbye at the small provincial airport. "Anak," she whispered through tears, "make us proud. Be careful. Not everyone will treat you kindly." Daniel smiled and promised, "I will, Mama. I'll make a good life for us." He didn't know that her words would echo in his mind sooner than he could imagine. The long flight to Los Angeles was exhausting, but Daniel's heart was full of hope. As he stepped off the plane and walked through the bright, busy halls of the airport, he felt both excitement and fear. This was the land of opportunity, but also the land where he was a stranger. He joined the line for immigration, clutching his small black backpack and his most precious possession, his passport. That little booklet represented his identity, his future, his dreams. He checked his papers over and over to make sure everything was in order. But as the line moved forward, Daniel noticed something unsettling. A tall, broad-shouldered police officer in a blue uniform stood near the checkpoint, watching him closely. The officer's sharp blue eyes seemed to follow Daniel's every move. His jaw was tight, and his lips curled in a way that made Daniel's stomach knot with anxiety. That officer was Bradley, a man who wore his badge like a weapon, not a duty. Bradley had a reputation for being aggressive, for targeting those who looked different, those who spoke with accents, those who he believed didn't belong. And today, his sights were set on Daniel. As Daniel approached the counter, Bradley suddenly stepped forward, his boot striking the polished floor with authority. "You," he barked, pointing at Daniel. "Passport. Now." The command was harsh, louder than necessary, drawing the attention of other travelers. Daniel froze for a moment, startled. "Sir." "Here it is," he said softly, handing over the document with both hands like it was something sacred. But Bradley didn't take it politely. He snatched it from Daniel's grip so hard that Daniel's fingers stung. The sound of the booklet tearing slightly at the edge made Daniel's heart drop. "Where are you from?" Bradley demanded, flipping through the pages as if searching for something to accuse him of. "Philippines, sir," Daniel replied, his voice trembling. Bradley smirked. "Figures." The officer's eyes scanned Daniel from head to toe with disdain. "You traveling alone?" he asked. Daniel nodded, trying to keep his composure. "And what exactly are you planning to do here? Overstay your visa? Work under the table? Take jobs from Americans?" Each question hit Daniel like a slap. His throat tightened, and for a moment, he couldn't speak. "No, sir. I have a work permit. Everything is legal," he stammered, pulling out his neatly arranged documents from his bag. But Bradley didn't look at them. He held the passport up, almost taunting Daniel, then slipped it into his pocket. "Not good enough," he said coldly. Daniel's eyes widened. "Sir, please. That's my passport," he whispered, panic rising in his chest. Without it, he was nothing. Without it, he couldn't even step outside the airport. Bradley leaned in close, his voice low and menacing. "You're not going anywhere until I say so." Humiliation burned in Daniel's chest as people in line stared. He wanted to disappear. He wanted to scream. But he was afraid of what would happen if he fought back. So he stood there, helpless, as Bradley ordered him to follow. They walked to a small, windowless room at the side of the terminal. Inside, the air was cold, and the fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. Bradley tossed the passport on the metal table and sat across from Daniel, arms crossed. "Why are you really here?" he sneered. Daniel tried to explain about the job offer, the documents, his family back home. He even showed letters, contracts, proof of everything. But Bradley didn't care. He kept asking questions. Each one sharper than the last, each one laced with suspicion and contempt. Hours passed. Daniel's throat was dry, his hands shook. He thought of his mother's warning. He thought of his little sister waiting for him to send money. And fear clawed at him. What if he was sent back? What if all his sacrifice was for nothing? But what neither Daniel nor Bradley knew was that someone had noticed. A young woman in the immigration line had seen everything, the aggressive way Bradley snatched the passport, the humiliation he caused. Quietly, she had taken out her phone and recorded the entire scene. And when Bradley dragged Daniel away, she uploaded the video to social media with the caption, "Racist cop abuses Filipino traveler at LAX." Within hours, the video exploded online. Millions watched as Bradley's arrogance played out on screen. Comments poured in, "Fire this cop. This is disgusting." News outlets picked up the story. Advocacy groups spoke out. The world was watching, and the pressure was on. Back in that cold room, Daniel sat silently, tears burning his eyes, when another officer walked in, this one stern but calm. "Bradley," he said sharply, "step outside." Confused, Bradley left the room, only to be met by his supervisor holding a phone with the viral video playing on it. "What the hell is this?" the supervisor barked. Bradley's face drained of color. His power was crumbling. Meanwhile, Daniel was escorted out, his passport returned with an apology. Reporters waited outside the terminal, cameras flashing. Daniel didn't know what to say. He was just a simple man who wanted to work. But now, his story was everywhere. Bradley faced suspension, an internal investigation, and public outrage. Daniel, on the other hand, received messages of support from strangers around the globe. Advocacy groups offered him legal assistance. Even the Philippine embassy reached out to ensure his safety. In the weeks that followed, Daniel started his new job, but he never forgot what happened. The fear, the humiliation, but also the hope that people still cared, that justice could win. And as he sent his first paycheck home to his mother, he whispered to himself, "We made it, Mama. We really made it."